Anyway, let's hear what Ezra has to say, though.
And so I think that the question I am just genuinely struggling with isn't how to have like a great kumbaya moment. But I think it is taking seriously that something we're doing is not working. I mean, I had Sarah McBride, who's the first trans member of Congress on the show. And, we were talking about every single survey you can offer on like trans rights has gone in the wrong direction the past couple of years, right? We've just begun to lose that argument terribly. And that has put people in real danger. So I take your point when you say, look, I want people to feel seen in my writing. And I want people to feel seen in my writing and my podcasting. But I think the place I'm trying to push towards is I think that there is a diminishment of the political coalition building that we now need to do, because we have come to the view that a pretty wide variety of people are in some ways kind of deplorables. I think it's weakened a bit in the last couple of years.
I would never use that language. Jesus Christ.
But
like, that's not, so when you ask me about that Hillary Clinton, that's what, like, I would never say it like that.
That's great. I think it's good that you wouldn't say it like that, but I'm not saying.
I don't even think that, by the way. Like, I don't even focus on people. Look, I am at war with certain ideologies and ideas, and I want them expunged. I want to turn them into phrenology. That's what I want. But I don't want the people. You know what I mean?
Not a timely reference. Because if there's one ideology that was destroyed thoroughly, dismantled intellectually, that is making a major comeback, it is probably phrenology. So, oops, phrenology is back.
Ouch. Like when you start talking about who people are and their bones, like that.
So in a way, I'm not sure. I mean, in a way, I think we're saying something not too dissimilar here. I guess the place where I felt a lot of pushback, and maybe this was not your pushback, right?
Except for cop phrenology, that's a real study. That's a real scientific study, as you guys know.
Was, the first piece I can just sort of, like, I accept that there's a disagreement on, like, what to do in the 24 hours after a death. Like, you feel like I was whitewashing the guy, and I felt like I was sort of... Yeah, I know you do. I know you do.
It's very upsetting.
I know you do. The second piece I did, which I think you saw, was more about this question of, what are we going to do living here in sort of two types of disagreement, right? One with a right that has, where Charlie Kirk has become sort of the center of it, right? He's not unusual for the MAGA coalition. He's a sort of uniting force within it, and the kind of things he believed and the way he did his politics. And then two, what are we going to do? Like, how are we going to be here with people who are like halfway there, right? What does it mean to be in this political community together? What do you think about that question?
About how to live together?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I think it's a truth. You know what I mean? I think it's it's a foregone, like we are. I really, really believe that, There's no real choice about this. I'm not renouncing my American citizenship. They're not renouncing their American citizenship. So this then, as far as I'm concerned, is a contest of ideas and narratives. Again, all I can go to is my role as a writer. And my role as a writer is to state things as clearly as I possibly can, to make them in such a way that they haunt, to state truths, and to reinforce probably the animating notion of my politics. And that is that all humanity is equal and is worthy of that, And I actually think all of the sort of political and policy positions are, that I probably find myself in sympathy with, are attempting to affect that, in the real world. And so, and again, I'm putting aside your piece, but I'm just thinking about the moment we're in. When I hear or see people who are honored and commemorated in such a way so that they almost become a national religious figure, and then I see their content, and I see that their content is actively destructive to humanity, I have to draw a line there. Like, I think, like, for me, like, the bigger question is, where are the lines? You know what I mean? And I think there's no problem with saying, listen, you can't hurl epithets at people. You're out if you do that. I'm sorry. Look, you want to have a debate about whether we should have affirmative action, in colleges? I'm here for it. You want to have a debate?
What does it mean to be on the other side of the line?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
What is it? So once somebody's on the other side of the line,
right?
What does that mean for you?
For instance, once you think it's okay.
No.
I'm trying to make this concrete.
Yeah, no, I am too.
Yes.
Once, for whatever the definition of the line is.
Right.
What does it mean for you for somebody to be on the other side of it? Right? Not somebody who just died.
Right.
But somebody still living.
Right. If you think it is okay to dehumanize people, then conversation between you and I is probably not possible.
And so what do you do with the fact that so many people think that is okay?
I think what you try to do is, again, this is the difference, right? Like, I I don't necessarily have the crystal ball to say that in this time, I'm going to be able to convince a majority of people that, for instance, let's just take the thing that's hot right now. Trans folks are human beings and deserve humanity. Although I think most people know that you shouldn't say what he said. Like, that shit is rude. It's just rude to talk to people like that. And I think most people know that. So it's something.
I can't believe I'm actually finding myself in between both of these thinkers in this issue. I believe that if society, let's say tomorrow society is a Nazi society, okay, and we are functioning within a Nazi society, and that might be actually a lot closer than you think. In that situation, there is value to addressing the dehumanizing rhetoric. Okay, there's value to doing other things as well, but it's certain there's a value to, at least when you are trying to win favor with those in the margins. That makes sense. This is why I didn't have an issue talking to Charlie Kirk, despite his dehumanizing rhetoric of a bunch of different groups. Not because I think that that is appropriate or because it's my privilege showing, right? But because I understood that a lot of people shared his sentiment, and he was a beacon for this kind of ideology that, and not only was he a beacon for this kind of ideology, but he was also straightforwardly like a part of the Trump administration, right? So if tomorrow Nick Fuentes became Charlie Kirk, I would debate Nick Fuentes because there is value in doing that. Only because if they reach a level of prominence, like, you have to deal with it. You have to deal with the ideology. You have to dismantle it. You have to tackle it. Having said that, however, you are under no obligation to engage in sort of post-mortem whitewashing and legacy building for people who have engaged in that sort of commentary.